Pakatan Harapan has nominated Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim as the alliance's candidate for Prime Minister in an about-turn after publicly declaring support for Tun Dr Mahathir Mohamad. Speaking at PKR's party headquarters this evening, Anwar said PKR, DAP and Amanah are endorsing him after Mohave declined to attend PH's Presidential Council meeting last night despite being invited to chair it. Earlier today, the PKR president told the press at his residence that the statutory declarations signed by multiple lawmakers to support Mahathir to remain as the premier were no longer relevant, as the king has decided to personally speak to each and every MP to determine who commands the majority in the Dewan Rakyat. He also remained coy as to whether PH had garnered enough support, saying that while he was confident, the final decision was now at the prerogative of the king. Mere minutes prior to Anwar's announcement, Mahathir broke his silence after days of political turmoil in a special message broadcast on national television. The interim PM said he will leave it to the Dewan Rakyat to decide who will be his successor, adding that he would be willing to reassume the premiership if he has the majority support. If this pans out, Mahathir gave his assurance that he would establish a non-partisan national administration with priority accorded to national interests. Mahathir also apologised to Malaysians for his shock resignation, saying that he made the decision after his former party Bersatu quit the PH alliance to join hands with UMNO and PAS. He explained that he had no choice but to quit, as he could not accept UMNO as the dominant party in what could be a unity government. Petronas says fourth quarter earnings plunged by 71% to a near four-year low of 4.11 billion ringgit due to impairments and a fall in revenue. Pre-tax profit was 55.8% lower at 9.02 billion ringgit, while revenue shrank by 8.4% to 64.04 billion ringgit. For the full FY19, net profit fell 26.8% to 40.47 billion ringgit, while revenue dipped 4.3% to 240.26 billion ringgit. Petronas declared dividends of 24 billion ringgit to the federal government. President and Group CEO Tan Sri Wan Zulkifli Wan Arifin says the FY19 earnings demonstrates the company's resilience amid challenging market conditions. He adds that the outlook for oil and gas remains bearish. Geopolitical uncertainties, trade tensions and near-term demand disruptions from the new coronavirus outbreak are all expected to affect its financial performance for 2020. Public Bank reported flattish fourth quarter earnings of 1.41 billion ringgit, weighed down by higher other operating expenses. Revenue came in just 0.7% higher at 5.67 billion ringgit. It declared a second interim dividend of 40 cents per share. For the full year, net profit dipped 1.4% to 5.51 billion ringgit, hurt by the impact of the OPR cut last May and higher operating overheads. Meanwhile, cumulative top line rose 1.9% to 22.45 billion ringgit. The central bank reduced the key interest rate by 25 basis points to 3% in May 2019. It hiked the rate by 25 basis points in January 2018 to 3.25%. Founder and Chairman Emeritus Tan Sri Teh Hong says the lender remains cautiously optimistic on its prospects. He believes Public Bank's strong market position and sound foundation, coupled with a growing domestic economy, will continue to support and drive business growth in 2020. KPJ Healthcare recorded its highest ever annual earnings, propped by strong momentum of its Malaysian hospital operations. Full-year net profit increased by 17.8% to 211.37 million ringgit, while top line rose by 7.1% to 3.6 billion ringgit as its local hospitals treated more patients and performed more procedures, particularly surgeries. The group's fourth quarter net profit grew by 57.5% to 84 million ringgit. Revenue improved by 7.7% to 944 million ringgit. Going forward, KPJ is optimistic on its performance this year. It says the additional capacity from its new hospitals, which have started operations, coupled with the completion of the expansion at its existing hospitals, will complement the rising demand for healthcare services by both its local and foreign patients. The group will also consider expanding in new markets like Vietnam, China and the Middle East as part of its big push on medical tourism into Malaysia.